Bucky's Basement. Bucky's Basement.
Welcome to Bucky's Basement. I'm Bucky, and as always in the basement with me today, I have Old Boy.
You made us all go deaf.
And Juicebox. And we are back with actually a special episode of Bucky's Basement, because what we've been doing lately on our podcast is we've been inviting special guests. And we've had an amateur comedian. We've had a crocheting queen.
Again, don't say amateur comedian. It's like you're a comedian or you're not. If you're doing it, you're a comedian.
All right, fair enough.
That's my opinion.
Fair enough. A comedian on this podcast. We've got a lot more stuff to come, but this week on Bucky's Basement, that's an episode that's going to be released in the next few days, is our Casting Cage series, and it's that series where we're reviewing Nick Cage movies in chronological order. And we are up to a very special episode for all of us, which is Ghost Rider. And this week, to help us with this podcast, we invoked the powers of another podcast called The Old Guard. Now, I came to light of these guys because of a local podcast meetup in Nashville. I met Rolls Royce, and he started to introduce it, and we were like at the same, in this same room, and we were like, hey, we've got this Nick Cage podcast, and we're like, okay, wait a minute.
Right.
We're kind of both nerds on something.
Right.
And so we had to get them on the podcast, and this week we want to introduce the Old Guard, which is Wally Analog.
Yes, sir. Awesome.
And Rolls Royce.
Sir.
And we are big fans of their podcast. I've listened to as much as I could possibly get my hands on. Listen to the intro episode, listen to the Fantastic Four episode, listen to Sinners, both 1 and 2, the
Nice.
downfall or what's next for the MCU. And Old Boy and Juicebox and I are... we're massive fans of the MC. We're massive fans of Marvel movies. We've all gone to see them together.
Most of them.
Yeah, not in the beginning. Like we didn't discover this for
and
a while.
not so much recently.
Yeah. Same.
But you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, well, we have some synergies there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, right.
So, especially when we're doing a Marvel movie, which what we've done research, this movie that we're coming up on this podcast, Ghost Rider, where we're reviewing it, we did research, and Juicebox and I were talking in the driveway the other day, and we were like, man, Ghost Rider was 1 year before the MCU was created. And it was one of the first movies to use that comic book flip Marvel at the very beginning. And we had to look it up, and we were like, hey, what movie started that? And apparently it was Spider-Man in 2000.
In 2000,
Okay.
I think.
They used the
Yeah.
comic book flip, right? And then I was like, hey, what Marvel movies are, current? Like, what were the first Marvel movies? And let's put all Lou Ferrigno's aside and all that stuff way back in the day. A lot of people on Reddit said Howard the Duck, and I was like, man, I know Howard the Duck.
Kind of.
Howard the
I
Duck.
guess. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Don't bring. We have discussions about
Man,
Howard the Duck.
I remember really liking that movie as a kid. And I
Yeah,
think
as a kid.
and
Right.
I-
Hilarious.
but I think
Loved
it's just
it.
because it had duck titties in it.
Yeah, homeboy read Play Duck or something. yeah. That's what it said on the magazine. Play
right.
Duck.
He wasn't a superhero,
No,
right? Like, that whole movie is very dark.
He's part of the Marvel IP.
Yeah,
So it's
right.
like,
Yeah.
Also, I believe a George Lucas creation.
It's
Yeah,
right.
he was.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So
Yeah.
the guy that brought you Star Wars also brought you Howard
Howard
the
the
Duck.
Duck.
Man.
I
Yep.
mean, dude had, one good idea.
And we're excited to review Ghost Rider with these guys, but we want to talk to them a little bit about the podcast, and we want to ask you guys, like, give me a 60-second elevator pitch. How you guys met? Why you guys are doing this podcast together? What you're in love with? And what?
60 seconds.
No pressure.
No
I see what you
pressure.
did. Oh, yeah. Go on.
Because we're gonna ask some more questions.
Okay, so I'm blessed because this is my brother right here.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And we didn't know each other, but our paths always crossed. We had common friends. And then one day, a good friend of mine called me and said, hey, we got this idea for a podcast. Me and Wally have this idea for a podcast. So we sat in a Panera
Right here in Rivergate.
right in Rivergate.
I know the one.
I eat there all the time.
Right, and birthed, established 1982. And
He wasn't feeling it. He wasn't feeling the
Well-
idea at first.
well, yeah,
He was
okay.
like, no, that ain't gonna work.
Oh, for real?
In your mind.
In my mind. Well, what were y'all pitching? I can't remember what we were
Well,
pitching. But
it was so basically what we were doing. We were pitching a geek culture podcast from the perspective of Gen Xers, right?
Right.
Right, yeah.
Because we felt as if our voice wasn't heard as much, right?
Right.
And we remember when the content was so bad. And it's just now gotten to the point where technology
has caught up with
has
it.
caught up with the stories, and so
Yeah.
now it's enjoyable. But man,
Right.
like you said, the Lou Ferrigno stuff, we watched it,
Right.
But it was bad,
It was
bro.
not
Like
good.
you know what I mean? It was like real, real sketchy.
So from Panera Bread, like, our friend had a board. I mean, we had it was like kitchen sink, like mics.
What?
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
And
bro.
we were like in his living room.
He didn't have any furniture
Yeah.
in his
So-
house.
Does he?
I don't.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but the beautiful thing is me and Wally really connected, and we've become brothers. And then
Yes, sir.
also too through the podcast, we found our voice, and then we also found we went on this journey where we saw where we weren't represented in geek culture
Sure.
the way
Right.
or we weren't represented in the right kind of way in geek culture. We appreciate everything that geek culture has to offer us, but we realize that we didn't have a voice in there. And then also being, I just turned 50. We're in our 50s,
Yep.
and we still love the stuff. We still play video games when we can.
Every day.
We still consume geek culture, and there's a whole story behind that too. So, 82 was born out of that. Life started lifing, and then we took a pause, and then Wally came to me and said, "Hey, man, I got that itch again. I need to get on the mic."
Let's go.
And to be honest with you, like being on the mic with him, it's the greatest feeling ever, man. It's
Therapy
just-
for
we
me.
get it.
yeah,
sometimes,
yes, it's
bro.
therapy
Yeah.
for a lot of
Yep.
us.
like I need
World
it.
is hard sometimes, and it's just good to just chat with my brother here on Geek Culture. And we've done a lot of shows. We've talked about we did a podcast on Watchmen. Brought people
Okay,
from the
cool.
community
Yeah.
to talk about Watchmen.
Oh, yeah.
That
Many
was
different
really
perspectives.
enlightening.
That was the best.
Yeah, that was
We got a
that
lot
was
of
a
different
really
perspectives.
enlightening.
Billy
Podcast.
Crudup.
You talking about the series or
The series.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. I was
I
gonna say,
love the series.
Yeah, the series was the shit.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, Old Guard is just a reimagining of what we're doing with 82. We're just continuing the legacy, but we just rebranded as Old Guard. We're just two men, trying to preserve the sanctity of geek culture because there's some people wilding out here.
Yeah. And
We gotta protect it.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
think it's sacred, man. So
Yeah, and
now
if-
you're trying to protect it.
Yeah, and if
Get off my lawn.
right,
No.
and sometimes like there's a lot of things that happen in geek culture that needs to get called out, and we don't pull any punches. If it needs to
No.
get called out,
No.
we'll call it out and we'll give our perspective and why.
Yeah,
So-
I love that. I respect that. So I've listened to quite a few episodes now of the Old Guard, and I love y'all's poster. And I want to know
man right here.
who's Riggs and who's Murtaugh.
Well, well, I'm the one. Okay, based on my personality, I'll let you decide. I'm unhinged.
Yeah, you're Riggs.
You never know what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna do.
That's what I figured.
Yeah,
That's what
I'm a graphic designer, so positioning is everything.
Yeah.
And when we put heads on the Lethal Weapon poster,
Oh, yeah. I
it was
figured-
an appropriate position.
I figured that was the case, but I loved it. I thought that was awesome.
yeah.
Dude,
I'm too old for this.
I'm older than he is.
Right. But I'm still too old for it.
So I know you guys are in the MCU, and I take it you guys did read or do read comics. Do you read comics
Yes.
now?
Yeah, when
Every-
we can, you know.
yeah,
what
when
I'm
we
saying?
can,
Yeah. Because I read comics all growing up, and so man, I'm real curious. Like, who's your favorite superhero?
oh
gosh.
yeah.
Man.
And I know that's different
So-
from movies versus comics, but I like
Yeah.
to know.
So are we divide? Are we? You just saying overall?
Just
or
who,
we
who,
have
who do you like? Who do you
Man,
like?
you know, this feels like a cop out.
No, there's no cop.
But Superman has always been my dude.
He stands
Like
for good
he
stuff.
just always been my guy. You know what I mean? Like, and it was refreshing to see him done the way he was in his last one versus the Zack Snyder one.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I'm one of the only few people that actually enjoyed Man of Steel, but I understand why people did not.
Right.
But
Gotcha.
there were things I liked about it. But the way my man James Gunn did this one made me happy again. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that, again, I mentioned earlier, the 78 Christopher Reeve joint,
Version,
man.
yeah.
That is when I was running around with a red towel on my back
Yeah.
Yep.
as a kid.
Yep.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It was just like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
He's just always been my guy. And I love Batman and all that, but he is the cornerstone of the DC universe. And he just wasn't when Zack Snyder was doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's the-
And I feel like he needs to be the foundation.
Yeah.
I feel like Man of Steel could have almost worked. Like that kind of darker take could have worked, but just not with Zack Snyder. Like I don't feel like Zack Snyder is great at making like really cool looking
Effects,
scenes
yeah,
and stuff
and
like
fight
that.
choreography.
But he can't put a story together.
Not at
like
all.
not
Yeah.
like James Gunn
Not
can.
at all.
Like, they're completely
Perfect dream team would be James Gunn, Zack Snyder, and then just a slew of writers.
Yeah.
Boom,
Like
there
some
you
of the
go.
writers that were on the Watchmen series.
Lindelof, yeah.
Lindelof, Cord Jefferson.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
If they could get a dream team like that at DC, like they would be
Yeah.
cooking.
Be on top.
But my favorite character, again, this sounds like a cop out, but how I got into comic books and even geek culture, it was just a constant diet of Star Wars. We had HBO cable box,
Yeah.
and it was Star Wars, and then it was Superman 78,
Yeah.
Okay.
Christopher Reeve. That's my Superman,
Yeah.
and like that
But
got
that's
me
your,
into
but
comics.
that's your favorite super.
That's my favorite superhero. That's what got me
Superman.
Superman.
Both of you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to put both of you on the spot really
Uh-oh.
quick. Who
boy.
would win in an all-out fight, Superman or Darth Vader?
I like the pause.
And while you guys are thinking about this, I
'Cause
want
it is tough.
to preface this by saying that this is pretty much the reason that this entire podcast or us three got started. It's because old boy and I were sitting at a bar. And we were arguing over who would win in a fight, Superman or Darth Vader. I took Superman, he took Darth Vader. We argued it to the death. It's almost the very first time we ever met Juicebox.
Yeah.
like he
I
comes
know
in.
you guys barely about the problem.
Did you have a juice box in your hand when you walked in?
I wish
That was his
sipping on it.
DJ name in a many earlier life. But he comes in and he hears this arguing and he's like, "Hey man, I think we could turn this into a podcast." So ever since day one,
That's amazing.
it's been Superman versus Darth Vader, and we argue still to this day to the death. And the other thing is Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees. And those are other two things that neither of us will concede. So we're going to take it to our graves. But
I'm Jason Voorhees. He's the sister kisser, Michael Myers.
no. We don't even need to get into that.
Okay.
But the question was, who would win in a fight, Darth Vader or Superman?
Man, so you want us to give you that without being able to sit down and
Right?
Yeah,
You, like,
yeah,
write a
yeah.
whole page of
pull
notes. on
data?
that.
See, I need, you know, I
I mean, you guys have been arguing it the whole time I've known you for 15 years, and
And
you're
we're
asking them
putting-
to answer the
I would
question.
love to know
I
the
know.
reason. Yeah, it's like I don't know. You know, there's so much that they both have.
Right.
Yeah, maybe next time we get together.
Yeah,
you
it
guys
might be a
bring-
stalemate.
Like I
man,
even
that
watched like
bring
a
it.
fan fiction movie where Batman fought him.
Well,
And I'm thinking, okay,
Yeah.
if the greater community thinks that Batman can
that's an
hang-
easy one.
hang-
Come on, man.
Yeah.
well, you know, real Batman fans, he can
Yeah,
beat
they-
everybody.
yeah.
Like, you know, with
You're
a little
right.
bit of time in the lab.
It's a regular guy.
Man, listen,
right.
man, and that's why the appeal is so much. You know, everybody feels like if they could just learn a few languages and take a karate class and win the lottery, they can be Batman.
That's right.
You
That
know,
last
like, right now, I bet you if you ask Elon Musk, he think he could be Batman.
He could
Right now.
He could create all the stuff.
He would get his ass whooped in the street.
I love it.
I'm just saying.
It was never fair. Christopher Nolan did wonders for Batman
He
to
really
make it
did.
viewable.
He really did.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, come on, man. You doing too much.
So before we wrap, what's next coming up for the Old Guard?
We're definitely going to talk about Predator Badlands, but specifically,
That was one of my questions.
specifically what Dan Trachtenberg. He's a director.
And cooking.
Prey
he
and-
made
and
Prey
Killer of
and
Killers.
Killer of Killers.
And that
Awesome.
Badlands is bananas.
Have you
Yes.
seen it?
Yes,
Man, I got to go see
bro.
it.
it's very good.
Yeah.
I want to go. I want to go second
It's
time.
the best one.
And it crosses over with Alien too, right? Wayland
Sort of.
Yutani?
Yeah,
He
Wayland Yutani. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they're
And he-
mentioned, you better believe it's called.
Yeah, and he used restraint.
Okay. He just a
and-
hints at it.
Yeah,
it
don't.
wasn't blatant.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Gotcha.
He
yeah,
wants to make sure you understand this is a Predator movie.
right.
Awesome. Did y'all watch Alien Earth?
Yes.
I haven't got through it all the way yet, but
Man.
Yes.
I am.
And so-
yeah, I'm in there.
Yeah.
Some of that it's some
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm making.
You're
sure
in for a
this
treat,
weekend.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Please
I'm
go.
pumped.
Yeah.
Run, don't walk.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I want to see. I also want to see. I haven't seen this yet, but I'm kind of curious about Running Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear the reviews are kind of.
So it's going to be
wishy-washy.
more faithful to like the original story. Is that what the deal is?
I don't know.
Or is it like,
It
I mean,
was a short
Edgar
story,
Wright is
too.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright is directing it, so I mean that's going to
he's
that'll
always
get me
making
in the
solid
seat.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
All right,
Man, we
so-
can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, where can these guys find you? Where can our listenership find you?
oldguardpodcast.com.
Okay.
You can even type in the Old Guard Podcast. We got that URL too, just to make sure.
Make sure.
Yeah. You can find us on Instagram, Old Guard Podcast.
Okay.
All your podcast
Spotify,
platforms.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yep.
Spotify. Yeah.
Sweet.
We're
Apple.
excited to have Wally Analog and Rolls Royce on our upcoming episode where we review 2007's Ghost Rider. You guys check it out. Check out the Old Guard podcast. Exactly where they said it. We are back each and every week on Bucky's Basement. We do, Casting Cage, where we're reviewing Nick Cage movies in chronological order, and then we do Fast Pitch, where we're writing movies in 15 minutes. We might have to have you guys back for
Man.
one of those, dude.
Dude,
It's like
yeah.
creativity in a box.
That is hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that part.
It really puts your back against the wall and makes you just spit, like just vomit out whatever you can based on a
Table
title.
read.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you guys would be great for that. We might have these guys back for that. But check out the Old Guard podcast and stick around this week because we are releasing 2007's Ghost Rider.